your North Greenville Crusaders. For today's starting lineups, first for the visiting Bobcats. At attack, number 0, Alec Molander. At defense, number 13, Alex Poole. At midfield, number 21, Dustin Barrow. At goalkeeper, number 23, Cameron Castle. At defender, number 24, Rodney Duty. At midfield, number 26, Nick Meyer. At defense, number 27, Dylan Quinn. At attack, number 29, Tanner Jones. At attack, number 34, Dane Carney. And at defense, number 44, Alex Goodwich. The Bobcats are coached by Derry Thornton and assisted by Andrew Bascom. And now the starting lineup for your North Greenville Crusaders. At defense, number 3, Sky Dupree. At midfield, number 10, Jalen Bell. At midfield, number 11, Drew Weisenar. At defense, number 13, Jaron Safransky. At midfield, number 21, Drew Warren. At defense, number 25, Zach Randolph. At goalkeeper, number 27, Matthew Sandoval. At defense, number 28, Nick Jacob. At attack, number 31, Chris Carpenter. And at attack for your Crusaders, number 33, Andrew Loach. Your Crusaders are coached by Corey Struss. He's assisted by Corey Geroy and Zach Clark. At this time, we ask that you please rise for the invocation and remain standing as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father God, thank you for this day. Thank you for the many blessings you provide for us each and every day. Keep both teams safe out there today, Lord, and let them play for your glory. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Greenville University encourages and promotes good sportsmanship from student athletes, coaches, and spectators. It is our request that you support the officials and participants in this contest in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or other derogatory actions directed at student athletes, coaches, officials, or team representatives will not be tolerated in our grounds or removal from Pepsi Stadium. In addition, tobacco products and/or alcoholic beverages are not permitted anywhere on campus. Thank you for your cooperation. We hope you enjoy today's match.
Welcome back to the North Greenville Sports Network on a wonderful Wednesday afternoon here in Tigerville at Pepsi Stadium for a doubleheader of lacrosse action. We're just about ready to get the men's game underway. North Greenville taking on the Lees-McRae Bobcats in the Conference Carolinas matchup. Later on tonight, we'll have Emmanuel in the house as the North Greenville University women's team will take on the Lady Lions from Franklin Springs, Georgia. That game coming up after the men's game. North Greenville coming in 3-7 overall, trying to end a 4-game losing streak. Lees-McRae comes in 2-6 overall, looking for their first conference win of the 2015-2016 season. Gray Sutherland alongside David Parsons, set to bring you the lacrosse action. And Dave, looking at this game for North Greenville, trying to end that 4-game losing streak, they're going to have to rely heavily on some of their attackers. Number 11, Drew Wassenaar, one of those, and number 31, Chris Carpenter, the other.
It's going to have to be a great defense. This is a great matchup team coming in here today.
As at midfield for the face-off, ball comes out. It's still loose, and eventually the ground ball is picked up by the defender, number 28, Nick Jacob, for North Greenville. He'll look to go down the field, overshoots his first man. It'll skip off number 33, Andrew Loach. And now Lees-McRae will look to try and get an attack started. They'll head down the right wing. There comes a pass back to the middle of the field that misses a target. It was number 31, Christopher LeMay. Now North Greenville back on the attack down the middle of the field. And number 6, Alex Proley to the right side for Chris Carpenter. Carpenter heads around the backside of the goal, goes to the far side, and number 21, a midfielder, Drew Warren. Now to number 24, Sean LeMay, Carpenter, and Warren behind the goal. This is what North Greenville likes to do, try and set it up around the goal, and then we'll make an attack run inside. Proley and Weisenar outside. Now work it inside to number 24, LeMay. Around to Carpenter and Warren. They keep swinging it around, Proley. And now Weisenar. Here comes Weisenar, drives inside, flips a pass. It skips off a couple of defenders on the ground loose. Here comes a scoop shot that deflects off the goalkeeper from Carpenter. And Lees-McRae will end the threat. Ground ball again picked up by North Greenville just across the midfield stripe. Now they go down. Here comes a long shot that's going to skip in from Andrew Loach. Great range from Loach on that shot.
They took advantage of that one. The Lees-McRae goalkeeper took that ball from his own goal all the way down to the far attack zone before he gave it up and just could not get back. It was just too far for him to catch up with that ball.
So North Greenville will take the early lead. 12:59 left to play in the first quarter. North Greenville now leads at 1-0. First goal courtesy of Andrew Loach. Back at midfield for the faceoff. We're back underway. Scramble for the ball in favor of North Greenville for the moment, and it will be won by number 10, Jalen Bell. North Greenville will move into their defensive zone and they'll now try to bring the attack forward. Shot to the midfield stripe, hooks up with Bell from Jacob. Bell down the left wing, being pressured, pulls up and flips it back to Proley. Proley heads back to midfield. Now we'll try the middle of the field and Weisenar. Weisenar looks to that right side. He'll have Carpenter and Warren setting things up behind the goal. Now LeMay and Weisenar outside looking to make something happen. Here comes Carpenter, now Warren. Back outside, LeMay, Weisenar. Underneath the Proley, looking to take a shot, gets crowded quickly. Here will come a shot that will miss just wide right from Carpenter. Had the open look, but hooked it right. North Greenville hangs on to it. Player closest to it was Warren. And he'll get the pass from Carpenter. Carpenter out to LeMay. And now Weisnar, Carpenter, Warren. Proley continuing to try and dance around in the middle part of that Lees-McRae defense. As North Greenville works the ball around, trying to open him up, and they had a shot there. The goalkeeper made the save for Lees-McRae, and that will end that threat. Cameron Castle, the goalie today for Lees-McRae. At the other end of the field for North Greenville, it's number 27, Matthew Sandoval. Now Lees-McRae looking to set up an attack. Pass skipped off the top part of the net for number 31, Christopher LeMay, and Sandoval was able to make the easy save. Proley will bring it across midfield and flip it to the far side wing for Warren. And now around to Carpenter. Here comes Carpenter with a little bit of room. Pulls up short and gives it to Weisnar. Weisnar to LeMay. Behind to Loach. Now back outside, looking for LeMay. Has Weisnar and Proley. Weisnar with the ball now. One-on-one with his defender, trying to sprint around him. Here comes Weisnar, works the middle of the field, fires another long shot, and again misses just wide right. Loach closest to it for NGU. And timeout Lees-McRae early in the first quarter.
I think the Bobcats have figured out the North Greenville's offense. They like to run that clock offense around the clock, clockwise and then back counterclockwise again. Some of the players are actually playing more man-to-man defense and getting right up into the shooter's grill and keeping him from getting those passes off or getting that shot to the net.
So a 10-12 left to play. The Bobcats take a timeout to try and set the pace for the game. North Greenville leads it 1-0 here early on the North Greenville Sports Network. Back here on the North Greenville Sports Network, North Greenville leads it 1-0. They'll come back from the timeout. Penalty being relayed in by the official, a 1-minute penalty against number 33, Andrew Loach, for a possible illegal stick. So North Greenville man down, and Lees-McRae will look to press the advantage and try and tie it up. The Bobcats will work it behind the goal, number 29, Tanner Jones. Now a little bit closer to the goal. They try to skip one in from number 34, Dane Carney. And they didn't quite get the angle right. It skips out toward the far side. The Bobcats hang on to it. They'll bring it back into play. Reset things back up top. Number 22, Blaine Stotlar. Stotlar looking for the long shot, will try and sling it in, and it goes high and wide left. Bobcats hang on to it again. Number 0, Alec Molander brings it back into play, gives it to Jones. Jones brings it out, and they'll try the right side. Number 34, Carney. And here comes another long shot that sounded like it hit a stick on the way from number 22, Stotlar. The Bobcats hang on to it again as North Greenville back at full strength. Penalty against Loach runs out. But NGU still in trouble. Bobcats trying to tie it up and get their first goal of the game. Up top is Stotlar, slips a little bit, hangs onto the ball. Try the left side wing. It's Molander there. Being pressured by number 13, Jaron Safransky. And North Greenville's able to steal it. Here comes Zach Randolph running down the far side, pulls up at midfield and flips it to number 5, Matt Somjak. Somjak now in a foot race to the middle field for Weisnar. Lees-McRae still in pursuit. Now here's Carpenter. Carpenter trying to get around his man. Gets chased into the corner and goes back behind the goal to Warren. Now over to the far side for Loach. And now back up top with Somjak, Weisnar, and now Proley. Proley goes into the corner for Carpenter, back behind the goal for Warren. Somjak, Proley, Weisnar up top. Into the corner again for Carpenter. Warren, Carpenter again. Back up top, Proley. Here comes Somjak. Somjak around from the far side, underneath, and a shot in and good. Looked like that was number 21, Drew Warren.
That was that wandering player that just kind of filters wherever he needs to go in front of the net and hope that they find him and get the ball to him and take that quick shot. A good wrister.
So a good break there by Drew Warren to put North Greenville up 2-0. Roughly halfway through the first quarter. At midfield for the faceoff, Jalen Bell again able to come away with the ball. Bell pulls up, flips it to Weisnar. Now Weisnar in a foot race being chased to the near side. Takes a couple of stick checks. It gains some space away from number 13, Alex Poole. Bell now to Hunter Burgett. Carpenter in the corner, behind the goal to Warren. Now Loach, back up top to Burgett, who has help from Somjak. Weisnar trots off the field. In substitution, they'll bring in number 44, Tristan Tuttle. Tuttle picks up the ball immediately, sprints down the near side. Now they'll relay it in and good. And it looks like that was Drew Warren again.
A definite set play on that one. You can see the entire team collapsing onto the goal, and the defense just couldn't answer that one.
North Greenville had 3 players open to take the shot, and the goal gets credited to number 31, Chris Carpenter. Bell again able to win the initial face-off. Now an errant pass skips back to Sandoval, the goalie. He's able to get it back. North Greenville try to run it forward. Randolph breaks across midfield, looks back, and we'll give it to Somjak. Somjak now brings pressure down the right side, back behind the goal to number 21, Warren. Warren sprints over to the far side, flips the pass that direction. Loach, and now Burgett. Here comes Tuttle to receive the pass. Tuttle trying to set things up in the middle. Now we'll head all the way over to the far side of the field. Now to Burgett in the middle, underneath the Carpenter, flipping shots with the goalie, and it rolls in. as close as you can get it to try and take the shot. And Carpenter was trying to fake him out every possible direction. And it looked like it just rolled in, maybe off his knee. Creative way to get a goal. North Greenville leads at 4-0.
Sometimes you take the goals any way you can get them, and that ball just had enough spin on it, roll back in.
So North Greenville off to a hot start. 6:50 left to play in the quarter. Bell at the line for NGU at the faceoff. Has won the previous two. Scrapping hard, it comes out and lands right in the net of Proley. Trying to get a pass to Loach, and it's going to skip out toward the far side corner, and that will be a turnover in favor of the Bobcats. Number 2 for North Greenville, Stephen Towns, comes in. Looks like we've got Somjak ready to come in as well. Bobcats as well make a substitution. Dylan Quinn in for Rodney Duty. Now North Greenville giving the Bobcats goalie fits. Castle has a face full of Carpenter. Ball rolls out in front of the North Greenville bench. Bobcats will go back to get it. Quinn closest to it. Now I'll try and skip it to midfield, looking for Alan Smith, but it bounces off his foot, and it's picked up by Carpenter. Here comes Carpenter in to Loach, and an easy shot, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And Andrew Loach will pick up another goal.
Unfortunate turnover led to the North Greenville goal, and the Crusaders are rolling now.
Just under 6 minutes to play. That's the 5th goal of the game. All 5 in favor of North Greenville. Loach picks up his 2nd. Carpenter also has 1. And Drew Warren has the other 2. Face-off again goes to the Crusaders. Number 13, Safransky got to it. Now with Randolph trying to set it up in the defensive half. Randolph being pressured by Alec Molander. Here comes Sandoval racing up from the net. Spins around one defender, now will race across midfield. And Sandoval finally flips a pass to Weisnar. As Sandoval takes a long walk back to his goal. Purley comes up to assist Weisnar. North Greenville with a quick substitution. Sean LeMay back in. Around the goal for Carpenter and Warren. Weisnar on the far side, connects up with Purley and LeMay. Now LeMay tries to take it right down the middle, heads to the near side, tries to get a pass to Warren, just a little too tall for him. Tracked down by Proley to keep things alive for NGU. Now Loach. Now Weisnar. Weisnar looking for room underneath. In traffic to Warren. And it's picked up by the Bobcats. Number 9, Lewis Parks, quickly heading down the field. Tries to get a pass to Molander. Molander takes a check but is able to hang on to the ball. Now Molander tries to get away from a couple of defenders. Zach Randolph, one of those. Bobcats try to test the left side. Stotlar has it. Stotlar drives inside, takes a check in the back, and skips a pass wide left. It's no good on the shot, and North Greenville will get it back. North Greenville across midfield with Weisnar. Now to Proley. Sean LeMay comes back in. Into the corner for Carpenter, around to Warren. Warren over into the far side corner, sets it back up to Weisnar, Proley, and now LeMay. Now LeMay trying to cut inside. Looks for help underneath, goes around instead of Carpenter. Now they'll set it up, and it skips off A couple of defenders back out, tracked down by Proley. Loach now behind the goal. Carpenter comes out to try and help with things up top. Carpenter in the corner. We'll switch places with Loach. Carpenter falls down, but gets right back up and keeps moving. Moves inside, skips a shot wide left. Had some help from Loach, but North Greenville unable to cash it in. The Bobcats get it back on the turnover. Dylan Quinn will get things back underway. Castle gets the pass. Now here comes Castle racing out to midfield and flips a pass successfully to Stotlar. Stotlar trying to get around Sky Dupree and now out racing Safransky. Over to the near side for Molander. Molander trying to spin around two defenders. Can't do it. Gets out of that left side corner. Now heads back up top. Randolph comes out to check him. Molander gives a little bit of space, heads to the far side. Molander unable to outrace Randolph as Randolph will now chase him all the way behind the goal. Now he'll skip a pass that goes off of a North Greenville stick, and the ground ball is picked up by the Bobcats, number 22, Stotlar. Stotlar fakes a shot, gives it back to Molander. Molander back to Stotlar. Tanner Jones comes up to assist. He'll head back behind the goal as Stotlar goes back to Molander. Now to number 9, Parks. Over to the far side. Number 16, Alan Smith. Smith trying to get around Dupree. Flips it back to number 34, Dane Carney. Now up top. Here comes Stotlar. Skips a pass. Wide left, but able to get it back is number 29, Tanner Jones. Jones now with a little room. And here comes a shot that is stopped initially and saved by Sandoval. That shot comes from Tanner Jones. And now Proley in a foot race. Gets a pass to Loach. Now here comes Warren to Carpenter and underneath for the goal. Faked it with his stick, looked up high, turned it down low and got it in.
Crusaders' legs led to that goal. They got the ball down before they got it behind the defense, before the defense could actually get set up. It was a good play.
A speed by Alex Proley definitely helped set that up. And then once again, excellent passing down in the crease by Drew Warren, and Chris Carpenter helped set that up. North Greenville now leads at 6-0. Minute 13 left to play in the first quarter. At midfield for the face-off, Jalen Bell. Scrapping hard and will secure it for NGU. Bell goes to Somjak. Somjak looks over to the far side. Behind the goal is Warren, and Carpenter in the near side corner. Tuttle, now Burgett. Somjak again. Somjak brings pressure down the middle. Nowhere to cut for him. Goes back to Carpenter. And now Loach back to Carpenter. Here comes Somjak. He's chased back out. Up top to Burgett. Looks over to the far side for Tuttle. Loach. Carpenter. Somjak, Burgett. All the way to the far side again for Tuttle. Burgett. Somjak. 30 seconds left. Here comes Carpenter. Now Loach. Far side for Tuttle. He's got 20 seconds. Somjak. Carpenter. Loach. Far side for Warren. Warren spins around one, skips inside, skips it off the outside part of the net. With under 5 seconds to play, and Lees-McRae will just try and heave this one deep, and that will expire the quarter. North Greenville off to a really hot start, 6-0. They lead it.
Give that to Bell. I don't think he's lost a face-off yet. Giving North Greenville the ball more often will lead to more goals. and been very little Lees-McRae offense so far. They have had some great shots, but just unfortunately missing the net.
So Lees-McRae will still have to look for their first goal in the second quarter. North Greenville leads at 6-0 here on the North Greenville Sports Network.
Crusaders will now defend the east goal. And I believe we've got another 1 minute penalty for a bad stick on North Greenville again.
Comes against number 5, that's Somjak, so he'll have to sit for the opening minute of the quarter. Lees-McRae once again with the advantage. The Bobcats in that first quarter took 5 team shots, as now they'll have their 6th. This one goes high over the top of the net from number 9, Parks. Stotlar has 3 of his team's shots for the Bobcats. Also in that first quarter, as here comes another shot, and this one will skip in good from number 0, Alec Molander. So the Bobcats waste little time to start off the second quarter. 14:23 left to play. Bobcats get on the board.
I wonder if maybe the sun might not have had a little play in that one. He's looked right at the sun before the shot was taken.
Now back for the first face-off of the second quarter. In that first quarter for NGU, Jalen Bell was perfect, 7 of 7. Dropped the one at the opening whistle of the quarter. Lees-McRae picked up their first successful face-off as North Greenville able to get the ball back in their defensive half. Will now try and work it forward to answer the Bobcats. And over on the far side, Bell gets interrupted by the Bobcats. Here comes number 27, that's Dylan Quinn, to Molander. And number 16, Smith. Number 34, Dane Carney. Over to the far side for Molander again, who just scored for Lees-McRae, trying to get another quick goal to get the Bobcats back in this thing. Here comes Stotlar. And actually, it's still with Molander. Good fake there to Stotlar. They'll use him as a pick. Molander heads over to the far side now, gives it up to number 29, Tanner Jones. Behind the goal is Stotlar. Bell comes up to cover him. Now Stotlar trying to get around Bell, heads over to the far side. looks up to the middle, misses his pass, and it's picked up by Proley. Proley has the speed, heads across midfield, flips it to Loach. Now over to the far side. Here comes a shot that is bobbled and saved by the keeper, Castle. Number 8, Bryson Palmer. Now in the ball game for North Greenville. Here comes number 2. That's Towns running back on. Bobcats on the attack again. Behind the goal is Molander. Brings it to the near side. Tries to spin around. Ball skips off the ground, and it's eventually picked up by Sandoval, as he had a face full of number 29, Jones. And North Greenville lucky to get out of that situation without allowing another score. Now here comes Weisnar. Breaks into the middle of the field. Lees-McRae able to bottle him up. Weisnar backs out. Looks back to the left side of the field. Picks up LeMay. LeMay back behind the goal is Warren. Now to Palmer, and here comes another long shot that is in and good from Weisnar.
What a laser. He must have saw that hole through there. It lasered right in before anybody knew it was coming.
So Weisnar responds to the first goal of the game for Lees-McRae, 7-1. Just past 3 minutes in here in the second quarter. And back to the midfield stripe for the faceoff, where Jalen Bell has been a force for NGU. Bell 8 of 9 on faceoffs. Trying to pick up another one. Ball comes out. Bell goes after it and will have it. Flips a pass back to Sandoval. And now they'll work down the far side. Here comes Randolph. Randolph outmaneuvers one man. And will pull up and flip a pass to Burgett. Burgett down the right wing, goes to Palmer. Palmer high pass, but brought down by Warren, and now Loach. Loach in the corner, goes back outside to Tuttle. Here comes number 15, Tyler Holland, checking in. Holland gets the pass from Tuttle, goes to Palmer. Back behind the goal is Warren. Warren flips it to Tuttle as North Greenville begins their motion around the goal to try and free up some kind of space. Here comes Tuttle. He takes a shot, skips off the ground, bounces high over the net. And Warren will go back to pick it up for NGU. Warren, Palmer, Holland. Here's Tuttle. Now to Warren. Over the far side, Palmer's going to have a shot and gets it past Castle for the goal.
I think those quick, accurate passes are beginning to put the defense to sleep. They were just following the ball with their eyes and nobody was moving. They're playing a man-to-man defense, and I think sometimes they just lose track of where their guy is at.
And it kind of, North Greenville does kind of pull you in with that clockwise or counterclockwise motion, like you said, Dave, as they swing it around the goal, and then they'll bring somebody on a break inside, and then the ball's past you before you know it. 8-1 North Greenville, 10:44 left to play in the second quarter. Bell back at the face-off, and he's got another one. Bell, quick attack to Loach, and just missed Warren as this one skips out, and the Bobcats catch a break. Alex Poole will bring it in. Go all the way over to the far side of the field looking for Quinn. Palmer comes up to pressure Quinn, as now Quinn gets a pass away to Poole. Now here comes Stotlar. Stotlar down the right side of the field. Picked up by Somjak and Towns. Towns heads to the middle of the field. Somjak will stay with Stotlar. Stotlar gives it up to number 9, Parks. Now over to the far side for number 0, Molander, who has the only goal of the game for the Bobcats so far. Now number 34, Dane Carney, chased outside by Dupree. Now they'll try to drive in from the far side this time. Dupree sticks with them, heads all the way back behind the goal, brings it again out to the near side. Dupree checking him the whole way. Flips a pass to Stotlar. Stotlar is picked up by Safransky. Well, Stotlar testing the waters on the far side, heads around the middle of the field looking for a long shot. Somebody takes a tumble in the middle of the field. That was a Lees-McRae attacker as Stotlar hangs onto the ball, picked up by Somjak. Not much room for Stotlar. He's going to have to make some. As he gets around Somjak, we'll try and slingshot one in and doesn't get it. Goes out of bounds. Bobcats closest to it with Mo Lander. Molander covered by Randolph. Moves inside, but doesn't have far to go before Randolph finally is able to stop him. Now to Parks, who's behind the goal, tries to drive inside, takes a shot, skips it off the right post. Here comes a flag out. And North Greenville called for a push. Number 3, Sky Dupree will have a 30-second penalty. Lees-McRae was able to score the last time they had a man-up advantage. They have one here, but only for 30 seconds. They'll set one up top as Stotlar slings it high and wide and out of bounds. Molander keeps things alive for Lees-McRae. They'll try now the near side. Here's a shot that goes left of Sandoval from number 34, Dane Carney. Molander again goes after the ball as North Greenville will be back at full strength in 1 second. And North Greenville should be back at full strength after some good defense there by Safransky. Forces the bad shot out of bounds. But still not out of the woods yet. Lees-McRae still in business. Here comes Molander trying to drive in, spins around. Randolph all over him. Gets it up top to Stotlar. Stotlar thought about a low shot. Now will take it. Goes wide right. Now Lees-McRae doing everything they can. That's Dustin Barrow closest to it. Here comes Barrow back into play. Weisnar will pick him up. Now a pass overshot intended for Tanner Jones. And the turnover will cost Lees-McRae possession. North Greenville will get the ball back after this timeout called by the Bobcats.
Number 22 for the Bobcats, Stotlar, is very good at cradling that ball. He has taken most of the shots today for the Lees-McRae, but has yet to find the net. And we'll be back on the North Greenville Sports Network in just a moment.
Back here on the North Greenville Sports Network, halfway through the second quarter. NGU so far a dominant first half performance over Lees-McRae. 8-1 is the lead in favor of North Greenville now. We were talking about it just before we went to break. Stotlar, that is number 22, Blaine Stotlar, has most of the shots for the Bobcats. As another goal is good in favor of North Greenville.
Once again, Crusader hustle brought that goal on. They got the ball down quickly and just penetrated right through the defense.
That took not even 20 seconds off the clock after the timeout. Stotlar does have most of the shots for the Bobcats. He's got 6. However, the only goal so far for Lees-McRae has come courtesy of Alec Molander. Now Bell again scrapping for the ground ball after the face-off. Somjak comes up to help him out. 3 players around it for each team. And now Lees-McRae will finally come away with it. Number 27, Dylan Quinn, picks it up. And now he's intercepted by Somjak, who had help from Warren. Somjak heads over to the far side, gets it to Palmer. Palmer works down the right side, goes back behind the goal to Warren. Now Loach. Loach goes to Tuttle. Here's Burgett up top. We'll switch places with Somjak. Somjak comes to the middle. Burgett heads to the far side. Lobs a pass up to Warren. Around Loach, now Tuttle. Back up top, Somjak. Somjak again to Burgett. Burgett will try an attack. Cuts back inside toward the middle. Now they'll relay a pass as this one skips just wide right from Warren, who came up from behind the goal. North Greenville not done yet. Loach to Burgett. Somjak. And now Tuttle backing up to midfield. Now starts back the other direction. Heads over to the far side. Pulls up short just before he gets behind the goal. Looks for Burgett. Burgett bobbles it. And it's still loose on the ground. Bobcats going after it. And there's a collision in the far side corner. And it's finally slung out of bounds. And North Greenville will not be able to recover it. Bobcats ball. Now Bobcats trying to set up another attack. And that last goal would make it 9-1 in favor of North Greenville as Dupree takes a shot. And he'll lose the ball out of bounds, turn it over to Lees-McRae. Drew Weisnar picks up another goal. That makes our current score 9-1. Lees-McRae has their work cut out for him. Still plenty of time. 5 minutes left here in the second quarter before halftime. As they look to try and get their second goal, as this one's slung high by Dane Carney. Bobcats hang on to it with Molander. He'll bring it in. Give it to Stotlar. He'll sling one, bounces it off the left post. And it's back to midfield where Bell will go after it for North Greenville. It's out of bounds. Actually, that's Palmer. And Lees-McRae ball. So Palmer just nudges that one out of bounds. Lees-McRae set up for another attack. Around the goal, Molander against Randolph. Some heavy traffic working just in front of the goal. As here comes a shot in and good over the goalie. Number 29, Tanner Jones, finds the net for Lees-McRae to try and cut away at that lead. Second goal of the game for the Bobcats.
It was actually a good play for Lees-McRae. They drew everybody over on the left side and left that right wing just completely open, and he pretty much had an open net.
So 4:25 left. 9-2, Lees-McRae. And Tanner Jones able to get a goal out of it. Right midfield for the face-off. And it's picked up by Safransky for North Greenville. Now taking face-offs, number 12, John Watson for NGU. Now Sean LeMay over to the far side. Bryson Palmer behind the goal. Warren, Loach, Weisnar, Proley, and then back around to LeMay. Now here's Warren, almost intercepted, but able to jump in front of the defender in time. Weisnar, Proley up top. Weisnar working inside. Here comes LeMay trying to attack from the right wing. Goes to Palmer. Just missed him, but it's picked up by Loach, who gets it to Proley. Now Proley nowhere to cut. Gives it to the middle of the field. Faked back toward the near side. Continued on his way toward the middle. Proley runs into heavy traffic. Gets it to LeMay. Warren. Now here comes a shot from Proley. That's going to be saved just before it goes in. It rolls out of bounds, and Weisnar will go to retrieve it. Good stop there by Castle, but he's not out of the woods yet. North Greenville sets up again. Here's Weisnar, works down the left side. Trying to drive inside. Will sling it, and here comes a shot in and good. Drew Warren picks up another goal, makes it 10-2.
Crusaders' goal was almost the same as Lees-McRae. Had everybody on the left side and left the right side open for the shot. Good passing.
That's where Drew Warren was. Comes in, makes the shot. 2:48 left to play in the second quarter. 10-2. North Greenville leads it. John Watson at the line for NGU up against number 16, Alan Smith. Back underway and quickly picked up by Smith. And I'll turn it over to North Greenville. North Greenville again will try and take it quickly. Palmer wasting no time, gets it to Warren. Now Loach. High pass to Tuttle, he brings it down. Back up top to Burgett. Burgett to Somjak. Now look to Tuttle. Tuttle will try and bring it down the middle. Gives it to Burgett. Burgett has a shot. He's blocked. And it's knocked out of danger for the moment by Lees-McRae. Somjak goes after it for NGU. He has some reinforcements, but Lees-McRae not giving up. Here comes Burgett, and he gets a pass back. And now Burgett in traffic down the near side. Somehow the ball stays in bounds, and it's finally picked up by the Bobcats. And Burgett forces a turnover. Boy, he never gave up on that play. Working hard against number 26, Nick Meyer. And Burgett gives NGU another shot. Here comes Somjak, and he'll take that shot and cash it in.
Once again, they're taking advantage of the turnovers. Actually, the interesting part of that setup was the face-off. About the first one that Bell seemed to have lost, and there was a call on the play. I believe Lees-McRae actually got to the ball before the whistle. Otherwise, I think Bell would have won that one as well.
So North Greenville up 9, 11-2, minute 38 left to play in the second. Back at midfield for the face-off. Official backs out. And Bell, see if he can get another one, and he will. This time he was going up against number 21, Dustin Barrow. North Greenville sets up. In space over on the far side, Randolph with two defenders coming to pick him up. Randolph able to get around one. Gets it to midfield to Dupree. Now Dupree heads down the left wing, gives it to Weisnar. Dupree heads back to his defensive position. Weisnar works over now to the right wing. Flips one to Proley. Proley will give it to LeMay. And a whistle from one of the officials. Clock problem being fixed. Showing 1 minute exact. And they're going to restart it, and we'll have the final minute of the first half. North Greenville leads at 11-2, looking to try and go up double digits. Here's Warren. We'll go to LeMay. Back up to Weisnar. Lob it over the far side. Palmer's over there. Back behind the goal again. North Greenville trying to free up some space. Here comes Weisnar right down the middle. Bounces it off Castle, but didn't get it to go in. Castle with the stop. Now the Bobcats will have a chance, but only 30 seconds to work with. Warren and Proley come up and will make the defensive stop against number 21, Barrow. And now North Greenville has a say, and Warren was able to get it in. Again, the turnovers. North Greenville able to cash in another one. It's 12-2.
I believe the Crusaders are testing the referee's whistles to see how far they can actually push the contact today. It seems like each officiating crew has their own standards, and you just have to kind of work through find out how far you can go.
Proley and Warren able to jar the ball loose from Barrow, and Warren took it down. Got a goal out of it, 12-2, 16.7 seconds left. Bell at the face-off. He's been near perfect all day, gets another one. Bell across midfield, 10 seconds left, loses the ball, and picked up by the Bobcats. Now they'll try to work it down the field. Here comes a long shot, wide right, no good, from Tanner Jones, and that will be the end of the first half. North Greenville leads at 12-2. Great job here in that first half by NGU. Dave, what'd you see that you liked out of that first half?
Well, the Lees-McRae Bobcats definitely changed their defense. They started out with the zone defense and saw that that wasn't going to work early. So they went back to the man-to-man defense, and that slowed them down, but it didn't stop them. The Crusaders definitely know how to get through each one of those defenses, and they showed it today. And it had to be just the crisp passing on the part of the Crusaders. Everything was pretty much on the mark, only a couple turnovers, and North Greenville definitely took advantage.
And G will try to keep the pressure up in the second half. 12-2. The Crusaders lead the Bobcats. And it looks like some members of the women's team will get some warm-ups here during halftime. Their game coming up against Emmanuel later on tonight. You can catch that right here on North Greenville Sports Network. For the moment, we're at the half between NGU and Lees-McRae here on the North Greenville Sports Network. And we're back on the North Greenville Sports Network. Second half between Lees-McRae and North Greenville just about ready to be underway. For that first half, North Greenville tallied up 12 goals. Drew Warren has 4 of those. Weisnar has 2. Carpenter has 2. Loach has 2. And then Bryson Palmer and Tristan Tuttle each have 1. 2 goals for the Bobcats, 1 to Alec Molander. And Blaine Stotler finally found the back of the net. He has the majority of the Bobcats shots with 8. Molander has 3. And Dane Carney has 1. Lewis Parks rounds out the shot takers with another 3. At midfield for the faceoff, where North Greenville has been almost perfect, John Watson takes it, and North Greenville will come away with it. Weisnar picks it up. Crusaders in that first half, 14 of 16 on faceoffs. Weisnar looking to get a strong start going here in the second half. Has Proley to help him, and now Sean LeMay. Over to the far side for Weisnar. Swinging around the goal, Loach and Carpenter. Back to LeMay and Proley up top. Here comes LeMay. Gets it to Carpenter. Now Loach, now Proley. Fakes one shot, lobs it underneath to Palmer, and Palmer was partially blocked, and the little lob shot went right to Castle for the easy save. Now can Lees-McRae get things started off well to start the second half? Proley with a defensive check against Barrow. We'll give North Greenville the ball. Here comes Sandoval up the field, the loose ball, gets it to Proley. And now Carpenter. Carpenter to Palmer, now Loach. Back up top. Proley's there, now Sean LeMay. Palmer, Loach, as North Greenville will work the motion around the goal to try and pull some defenders out. LeMay to Proley. There's Weisnar. Weisnar gets around one, will take a shot, bounces off of Castle's stick, and this one's going to sail away out of play. North Greenville hangs on to it. Carpenter gets us back underway. He'll go to Loach. They'll send Palmer underneath to see if he can get free. Now here comes Loach around the goal, looks for Palmer, skips it just wide of him. And it's out of bounds just before Carpenter can get to it. Lees-McRae gets it back. They'll move down the left side. Number 24, Rodney Duty. He gets it to Stotlar. Stotlar trying to get around Safransky. Now Weisnar comes up. And here comes Proley, absolutely collides with Stotlar. Stotlar somehow hangs onto the ball, flips it behind the back as a flag comes out as Stotlar took another shot. The attack will continue for Lees-McRae. Stotlar gets it back from number 29, Tanner Jones. Now Stotlar gets around Safransky, fires a shot, misses, no good. Lees-McRae will have it. We'll get to keep it as we'll see what these two flags are for. We've got one over on the far side and one almost in the corner here over on just past the Bobcats bench.
The white, 1, 3, 1 minute. Unnecessary roughness, 1 minute.
Dave, you mentioned it in the first half. We were waiting to see how much contact the refs would let them get away with it, and it looks like enough was enough.
Yeah, that's true. And it seems to me, if I recall correctly, Lees-McRae has not had any penalties called on them in this entire game.
So an unnecessary roughness call against number 13, Jaron Safransky, will sit him for a minute. Lees-McRae with a man-up advantage. Stotlar over on the far side. Gets a pass back from number 34, Dane Carney. Carney and Stotlar work together. Now here comes a shot from number 29, Jones. Skips off the foot of Dupree. A good stop there by Dupree. Will send it back outside to Stotlar and force Lees-McRae to start over. It's over on the far side with Carney. Carney to Stotlar. He'll fire from way downfield and misses. No good. Turns it over to North Greenville. Sandoval flips it into Dupree. Now here comes Somjak. Somjak gets away from one defender, takes a check, outraces another. Attacks down the right wing. Bumps into a third, pulls up. Fires it back to Proley. Proley now to Weisnar. Over to the left side for Somjak. Good spin move there. Fires a shot in and good. Give number 5, Matt Somjak, 13th goal for North Greenville.
That'll be a full-strength goal, too. The time for the penalty had just expired before the shot was taken, so it's going to be credited as a not a penalty situation when the goal was scored.
Somjak with what should be his first goal of the day. He'll join the list of scorers growing steadily for North Greenville. Drew Warren currently at the head of that pack with 4 of the 13 goals for North Greenville. Another turnover against the Bobcats, unable to keep it in bounds, trying to work on that left side corner. Here comes Proley, who's had the speed all day. As a flag comes out from an official here in the right side corner. Play continues on. North Greenville with Weisnar. Sean LeMay checks back in. Weisnar over to the far side, around the goal. Carpenter and Palmer. Now here's LeMay, up top to Proley. Weisnar. We'll look back to Proley. LeMay comes up to assist. Now he'll drive inside. Pull up, fire a pass to Carpenter. They'll try to hook it up in the middle, looking for Palmer. It skips high. And here comes Dupree trying to field the ball. It's eventually picked up by Molander as play is stopped. And we'll address this flag back here in front of the North Greenville bench.
We'll wait for the call from the referee, but I believe it was a retaliation penalty from number 22 from that earlier call.
Looks to be the case. Cross-check called against number 22, Blaine Stotlar. One-minute penalty against Stotlar will give North Greenville a man-up advantage. They'll work it around the goal. Number 30, that's Ethan Landreth. Now Warren, Weisnar, Landreth back up top. Weisnar and Warren over the far side for Proley. Behind the goal, Carpenter. Here comes Palmer up to help him out. Gives it up top to Warren, who takes a check from behind, loses the ball. It's picked up by number 20, Ethan Thompson. Thompson races across midfield, and now will pass into the corner for number 29, Tanner Jones, who loses the ball. And he is not able to get it back as Zach Randolph picks it up. And a far side official will stop play and give the ball back to Lees-McRae. A lot of contact on that play. No penalty markers thrown, but North Greenville bench still unhappy with the call. So Lees-McRae gets it back. Now here comes Molander as a flag does come out, as a shot will skip in good from the rebound from number 34, Dane Carney. The goal stands. That cuts the lead to 10, 13-3, and a slash penalty called against number 13, Safransky for NGU.
Crusaders seem to be losing their poise now. I'm a little bit concerned. They got a long way to go to catch up with 13-3 score. But North Greenville's really got to bring it back together now if they intend to stay in focus.
So 8:20 left to play, 13-3. And Safransky sitting for a minute penalty. Lees-McRae try and get another goal to cut the lead back to single digits. Here comes a shot, saved by Sandoval. Dane Carney was able to get it in. Now Carney gets the loose ball back on the turnover. He'll drive inside, flip it to Molander, who missed the shot. Now Molander being driven into the corner, picks the ball up, slings it over to the far side, and this one will get past Sandoval as Dane Carney scores it for Lees-McRae.
Can't stress enough the goals that are scored off of turnovers. These turnovers, like in about any sport, will just absolutely destroy an offense and put you on the back of your heels, and you just can't catch up to the offense.
So it's 13-4. Lees-McRae trying to reel this game back in. We'll have to start by picking up the pace at the faceoffs. Bobcats have only won 3 all day. Bell back for the face-off. Pushes it away, and it's picked up by Stotlar for the Bobcats, who takes some contact from Randolph, and the ball skips out of bounds and will be given back to NGU on the turnover. So Lees-McRae trying to force the turnover bug against North Greenville. As this, it will be a turnover. High pass, skips over the head of Nick Jacob. It's now just past halfway in the third. Lees-McRae with some new momentum. Stotlar has it. uses a man as a pick. That was Tanner Jones. Stotlar flips it back to the middle, number 26, Nick Meyer. Meyer takes a check from Proley, takes another check, drives in, fires a pass, and here comes a shot that rolls right past the goal from Stotlar. It'll stay with the Bobcats. Number 34, Dane Carney, closest to it. Carney brings it in. Being checked by Dupree. And now ball comes out. Loose ball picked up by Dupree. Goes to Sandoval. Back up the middle for Proley. Got number 5, Somjak, getting ready to come back in. That for NGU. Now Palmer, Carpenter, over to the far side. Loach over there, back up top to Wisnar. North Greenville trying to increase their lead back to 10. Somjak, who just came in, gets the ball. No room to work with, now gets it looking for Loach. It sails over Loach, who is wide open. Flag comes out. As number 23, that was the keeper, Castle, came out to try and recover the ball. Another penalty coming up against North Greenville.
Number 6, 1 minute, slash, 1 minute. Number 6.
This slash call against number 6. Alex Proley will sit him for a minute. Five and a half minutes left in the third quarter. Lees-McRae slowly fighting their way back into this. Bobcats certainly not done yet. Molander has had one of the goals today for the Bobcats. Gets it to number 9, Parks. And now number 29, Tanner Jones. Jones on the left wing fires a pass to Stotlar. Stotlar lobs it to number 24. That's Duty. He goes back to the middle of the field for Jones. Jones forced back out, fired a shot, and missed it wide. It will go. Alec Molander will go and pick it up for the Bobcats. Bobcats hang on. They keep it back in play. Now 5 minutes left to play in the quarter. Here's Carney. Lobs a high pass up for number 29, Jones. A shot missed wide by Molander. And turnover to Sandoval and NGU as he came racing out to make sure he was first closest to the ball. Somjak lobs it over to the far side for Safransky, who goes down the field to Loach. Loach sets it back up for Wisnar. Somjak comes across midfield to get the pass from Wisnar. As here comes LeMay to help him out. They go back into the corner for Carpenter. Now Loach goes back behind the goal to help Carpenter out. I give it back up top to Wisnar. Now Somjak. LeMay. Somjak again. As here comes Wisnar. Slings one. Stopped by Castle. Bounces out of bounds. And Lees-McRae in a foot race as Rodney Duty just outran Sean LeMay to be closest to that ball. And now the Bobcats unable to secure the ball over on the far side. Number 25, Gage Wozniak, unable to secure it for the Bobcats. Will give it back to North Greenville and will look to try and increase their lead back to 10. Proley in the middle, flanked by Wisnar on his left and LeMay on his right. Loach and Carpenter behind the goal with Bryson Palmer waiting underneath. Here comes Wisnar, flips it, gives it to Carpenter. Now Proley sets up for shot. LeMay stopped by Castle as this one is sent high and out of play. North Greenville closest to it with Palmer. Palmer to Carpenter to get things back underway. LeMay Now Weisnar. 3 minutes left in the quarter. North Greenville up 9, 13-4. Palmer over to Carpenter. Carpenter flings it around. He'll have Loach. Weisnar, now the lone man up top. Goes to Palmer. Over the far side for Loach. Loach trying to stutter step inside. Forced back out, gives it to Weisnar. Weisnar now splits two defenders, fires it off the post. Now Loach goes after it. And pushed out of bounds by Lees-McRae. Number 9, Lewis Parks laid out for it. Couldn't reel it in. And here comes NGU again. Weisnar to Palmer. Behind the goal to Carpenter. Proley again up top, looks for Weisnar. Weisnar to Palmer. Palmer fires a shot. Again, Castle able to deflect it away as Carpenter goes to get it for NGU. Under 2 to play in the third quarter. Here's Loach. LeMay. Proley. And it ends up to Weisnar. Weisnar cuts inside. Flips a pass to Loach. They try to reset it back up top to Palmer, who was open as the ball rolls across midfield and will be turned over to Lees-McRae. Stotlar wasting no time on the turnover. Gives it to Molander. Molander fighting for positioning, and wow, what a goal there from Dane Carney, who came racing in unopposed. And I'm pretty sure he flipped that one behind the back and still got it in.
I think you're right, Gray. That was a very nice play, good goal. Drives the coaches crazy when they do things like that, but it works. So at least they got one back.
Well, Lees-McRae will cut the lead to 8. After now, Lees-McRae starting to get a little creative with their goals. Face-off taken by the Bobcats. Lees-McRae with some new energy here late in the third quarter. North Greenville not giving up as Zach Randolph forces the ball away from Molander. Now they'll scrap for it. And nobody's been able to secure it yet. Safransky lobbed a pass up, and it's going to roll out of bounds and go back to Lees-McRae. In the final minute of play in the quarter, Lees-McRae managed to get 2 goals and cut the lead to 8. Here comes Stotlar trying to feather chip away. Tries for a bounce shot, no good. Out of bounds, and Molander will go get it. Molander brings it on left side on a fast break. This shot stopped by Sandoval. Flag comes out. 2 flags come out as Carney takes some hard contact after the shot. Zach Randolph called for unnecessary roughness. Will sit him for the at least the final 14 seconds of the quarter. It's a minute penalty, so let's see if that rolls over to the 4th. Lees-McRae with what could be the final word here of the third quarter. Carney backs out with 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Carney's got to do something. And he'll run out the clock for Lees-McRae. So the Bobcats look pretty promising here in that third quarter. They cut into the lead. It's now 13-5. Dane Carney, the catalyst for much of that quarter, got at least 2 goals. And the Bobcats look to try and make things interesting in the 4th.
They did mount a comeback, and it looked to be a little bit like North Greenville has just been complacent in this quarter. sitting on that big lead. They tried to kill a lot of clock off. I think that might be a dangerous thing for them. They've got to keep pushing hard. That's their game, and anytime you can get them off their game, that's real dangerous for the Crusaders.
Final quarter coming up as North Greenville looks for their 4th win on the season overall. Lees-McRae searching for their first Conference Carolinas win. That coming up next as North Greenville leads it after 3, 13-5 here on the North Greenville Sports Network. Back for the final quarter of play. North Greenville has seen a lead that has gotten up to as many as 10 goals. Be chipped away down to 8. And Bobcats take a quick timeout to start off the 4th quarter. 10 seconds off the clock. Bobcats trying to make things interesting. Head coach Derry Thornton trying to coach his Bobcats back into this game. The 3rd quarter was what they needed. Number 34, Dane Carney, got off a couple of scores. North Greenville's got to keep the foot on the gas to avoid Lees-McRae working back into this game. Dane Carney has 3 of the 5 goals for Lees-McRae. Molander and Tanner Jones with the rest. Correction on the stat sheet. Blaine Stotlar has taken 10 shots for the Bobcats, but looks like no goals to show for it. North Greenville trying to avoid the turnovers. That was a costly 3rd quarter for them, as the Crusaders are behind in a turnover battle, 15 turnovers to Lees-McRae's 13. Also, Bobcats with only 1 penalty all game so far. North Greenville with 6. Here's Weisnar, wide open Palmer. 1-on-1 with the keeper, and Castle makes the stop. North Greenville will have another chance. Warren closest to it. He'll try to work his way inside. Here comes Carpenter in. And he'll find the back of the net.
It was a good play on the Crusaders' part. They collapsed right to the goal. They had 3 or 4 players that could have easily got that goal.
So Chris Carpenter able to stem the tide for the moment. Puts the lead back up at 9. As number 27 for Lees-McRae, Dylan Quinn goes up against John Watson. More players join the party, and Hunter Burgett comes away with the ball. Burgett down the right wing. Pulls up in front of Palmer. Now we'll look for a pass. North Greenville shuffling substitutions on and off. Here comes Tuttle on. He'll get the pass. Now to number 15, that was Holland. And here's a goal from number 21, Drew Warren. No time wasted at all there. And 2 quick goals. Drew Warren on that second one puts North Greenville back up 10.
Good job, guys. Good job.
I think they gave that goal to Carpenter. He was standing over on the far right side just waiting for the pass and a quick wrister.
So Carpenter and Warren again stepping up big here in this game against Lees-McRae. At the face-off midfield, Bell comes back in to take this one and easily scoops it up and takes a turn down the field. Bell in a foot race, lobs a shot, and he scores!
Wow, what a play. All the way from face-off to goal. Nobody near him. That was amazing. That he hesitated just a slight second there whether to take the shot or not. Right through the 5-hole.
Well, he had the space, so why not? Jalen Bell tacks on the 16th goal of the game for NGU. And he's right back at the line for the faceoff. (16-5) North Greenville trying to extend their lead. Bell trying to knock the face off to Safransky. Ball popped up again. Here comes Dupree to secure it. Dupree to Randolph. Randolph down the far side. Gets it forward to Palmer. Palmer to Carpenter, just missed him. And now here comes Holland up, and he'll pick up the ground ball. Holland looking to Carpenter behind the goal. Instead goes to Warren down the sideline on the left side. Back to Tuttle. And now Proley. Proley trying to spin around a couple of defenders, gets it back to Tuttle. Now here's Holland. Warren, Carpenter, over the far side for Palmer. Tuttle and Holland each working with each other up top. Here comes Holland, works his way inside, lobs it around to Carpenter. Here comes Carpenter, and he gets it in.
Well, they definitely got the signal from the bench. Keep the pressure on, keep the gas going. I think they kind of let down a little bit in that third period, but they're back on it again.
At the end of the third quarter, it was an 8-goal deficit for Lees-McRae. Not even 3 minutes into here to the fourth, North Greenville has pushed it to 12, 17-5, the score. At the face-off, Quinn for Lees-McRae. And Bell, or it's Watson. Lees-McRae able to win this face-off. And now Stotler loses the ball in front of number 12, John Watson. Watson comes off. Here comes Towns. Lees-McRae down the field quickly. Number 34, Dane Carney, who has 3 goals today for the Bobcats. Works down the right wing, goes back up top to Stotler. Stotler trying to line up a shot. Cradling nicely, falls down. Here comes a flag out. Stotler continues to play. Gets it to Carney. Carney brings it out of the corner, takes a check from Randolph, heads to the middle of the field. Now at far side, fires a shot, and in and good. Stotler finally gets his goal for the Bobcats.
He took advantage of a goalie change that North Greenville had put in and took no hesitation firing that shot. He'd done that several times today, just shooting right at the net and hoping something would go in. He finally got one.
Number 7, Matt Murphy, now in the goal for NGU. Sandoval started this game. Now John Watson trying to take the face-off. It's scooped up by Stotler, who bobbles it halfway down the field. Flag comes out again. Looks to be another penalty against North Greenville, so that will give the Bobcats the advantage.
Into white. 1, 2. 2 minutes. Cross check. Non-releasable.
2-minute penalty against John Watson for cross-checking. So 2-minute penalty against North Greenville. Lees-McRae will look for a goal. Here comes Stotler. Misses wide left. Bobcats closest to it. Number 29 goes after it. Tanner Jones brings it back in for Lees-McRae. Molander back over to the far side. Now they try to bring Carney in. He'll go around the goal. Safransky comes to pick him up. Here's Stotler. Stotler in trouble, gets it back to Carney. Carney to Molander. Molander taking a couple checks there from Dupree, driven into the corner, gets a pass to Carney. So Dupree trying to help out his goalie. Shot lobbed up to the far side. That's Molander. Back outside to Stotler, and now number 29, Tanner Jones. Over to the right side, just past the referee. And now here's number 16, Alan Smith. Smith over to the far side. So Stotler outside. Stotler trying to spin around Randolph. Slips, able to maintain his balance and get a pass to Carney. Ball almost picked off there by Randolph. Stotler gets it back. He'll go to Smith. Smith holds on to it, fires a pass to Carney. Carney brings it out of the corner. Stotler, long shot. Blocked by, that looked like Nick Jacob got a piece of it. And just airmails it long down the field to try and keep Lees-McRae at bay. Ball gets across midfield, and it's picked up by Weisnar. Weisnar now will try to make a fast break down the far side. Has Palmer in the middle of the field if he wants him. Palmer now heads back behind the goal. Weisnar trying to outrun a couple of defenders. Fires a pass to Somjak. Somjak goes to Proley. Proley into the corner, fires it back out to Warren. Warren out to Weisnar. Weisnar runs into a wall, gets it to Proley. Proley trying to line up a shot, takes a check from behind, loses the ball right to Lees-McRae. It's number 26, Nick Meyer, running down the field. Flips a pass forward to Molander. And Molander behind the goal. 1-on-1 with Randolph. Trying to get around him and have a shot at Murphy in the goal. Randolph sticking to him. Now Molander able to get around him and hang on to the ball, works his way inside, fires it. Murphy stifles it first and makes the save. North Greenville wastes no time. Already down the field with Carpenter. Carpenter to Palmer. Palmer goes across to Warren. Warren back outside to Holland with 8 minutes left to play in the quarter. Here's Proley. They'll try to cut inside. Proley fires a pass intended for Palmer. And an easy stop there by number 3 now. Lees-McRae also made a goalie change. Jordan Lombardo in the net in place of Cameron Castle. Bobcats down the far side of the field. Alec Molander tries to get to the middle of the field. They find number 34, Carney. Finds the back of the net for his 4th goal of the game. Bobcats still showing a lot of fight, but a lot of ground to make up, down 10, and not a lot of time to do it.
Lees-McRae has just now started to play defense. It's the first time I've seen good defense the whole game. I don't know if they're just trying something experimental here, but it looks really good right now.
Halfway point of the quarter. 7.5 minutes left to play here in the 4th. North Greenville trying to ride this one out. Ball still at midfield after the face-off. 3 players for North Greenville scrambling for it. 3 as well for the Bobcats. And a whistle will stop play. And North Greenville gets the ball. Here's Weisnar taking off after the stop, and another whistle. Trying to get a ball back into play. Now they'll start it back at midfield with Proley. Proley down the right wing to Palmer around the goal. Carpenter, now Warren. LeMay, Weisnar. Gets it back to Proley as they'll work around the counterclockwise this time. Trying to burn some clock and keep it away from Lees-McRae. Now here comes LeMay, tries to drive inside, flips it to Carpenter, back outside to Proley, lines up a shot, bounces a little too strong in front of the goal, over the top, and out of play. Carpenter goes to get it. Carpenter will bring it in. Switch it to the near side. Here's Warren. Back up top to LeMay. LeMay trying to line up a shot, slips and falls, gets it to Weisnar, falling down, and here comes Proley, sneaking underneath and in, and good for the goal.
Once again, those good, crisp passes right on target, just sharing the ball, waiting for the open man to get the shot.
That open man was Proley, sitting right in between 2 defenders, Wozniak and Quinn. Not a big open window for Proley underneath, but able to make it work nonetheless. 18-7, 6:14 left to play here in the 4th. North Greenville leads it. It's Quinn at the face-off against number 2, Towns, and Towns took a pop. Now North Greenville wastes no time. Good transitional play. Warren tried to get it to Palmer, and Palmer unable to handle the pass. As now Lees-McRae heads down the far side of the field, number 24, Duty. As we got a Bobcat down here on their defensive half of the field, so they'll stop play to check on him. 5:50 left to play in the 4th. North Greenville up 11.
Guys that weren't on the field, get off the field.
Well, trainers take a look at the down Bobcat. 31 shots for North Greenville, 25 for Lees-McRae. As it was Dustin Barrow, the injured Bobcat, being tended to. He gets up and able to walk off the field under his own power. So we'll start back up, 5:50 left here in the 4th. Drew Warren, 5 goals for North Greenville. Chris Carpenter with 4. As their stat sheet continues to grow. Drew Weisnar has also chipped in 2. Lees-McRae trying to continue their scoring trend. Number 4, Christopher McKinney. Now here's number 29, Tanner Jones. Jones fires a shot right into Murphy's net. Good stop there by Murphy. Now Bell to Towns. Towns on the right wing, gets it to Palmer. Palmer back behind the goal. Has Warren. Warren goes back to Palmer. Now Warren with it. Gets it to Weisnar. LeMay, now Proley. Palmer again. As North Greenville resumes their counterclockwise motion around the goal. Now they switch it to clockwise. Here comes Wisnar, drives underneath, looks for Carpenter, can't find him. It's Palmer who comes out of the pile with it. Now to Proley. Proley unable to get the pass, picked off by number 27, Quinn. He goes to Molander. Molander able to get around a couple of defenders and fires it past Murphy, in and good. Alec Molander finds the back of the net again for the Bobcats. And the late goal will cut the lead to 10, 18-8, 4:13 left to play in the fourth. Quinn and Bell at the line. Face off to the Bobcats. Quinn comes away with it. Brings it down the near side. Flip pass there to Dane Carney. Carney to Molander. Dupree on him. Now here's Stotler. Stotler brings it around. Flips it to Carney. Carney heads over to the far side. Carney back to Stotler. Stotler stutter steps inside and takes a check from behind. Flag comes out as he fired a shot. And a push against number 3, Sky Dupree. And he'll have to sit for 30 seconds. Number 32, Hunter Crandall, checks in for North Greenville with these final 3.5 minutes. Lees-McRae with another advantage, trying to get a goal. Here's Carney, slings it, misses it wide right. The Bobcats will hang on to it. Here comes Molander to get it back into the field of play. Far side for number 29, Tanner Jones, brings it back to the middle of the field. Lobs it back to Molander. Molander back to Jones. Jones trying to skip it to the far side. Here comes Carney. Fakes it high and goes low and gets it in. So Carney heating up here in the second half for Lees-McRae. Picks up his 5th goal. And both teams, and North Greenville will be back at full strength after that goal. 6 seconds was left on Dupree's penalty. 18-9, Lees-McRae has their deficit back down to single digits. And Stephen Towns trying to take the face off and won't be able to win it. Number 9, Lewis Parks, comes away with it. Parks right down the middle, trying to get a skip shot in, misses wide left. The Bobcats will look to bring it back in with Tanner Jones. Timeout Lees-McRae comes with 2:45 left to play. North Greenville trying to finish this game out 18-9. They lead it. As we have the North Greenville women's team waiting over on the far sideline. Emmanuel not too far behind them. That game coming up after we're done with the men's game. Sarah Smith and Hannah Hawkins look to lead the women's team to another victory against the conference opponent Emmanuel. Only the second full season of competition for North Greenville Lacrosse. The sport added as well as men's volleyball. A couple of years ago as an expansion of the athletics here at NGU. And it will be Bobcats ball. Molander will bring it in. And didn't get a good motion on the pass. Murphy comes out to field it. Looks to go down to Bell. Bell tries to get it. He can't get it. Instead, it'll go to Palmer. Palmer gets tripped up on the far side and rolls out of bounds with the ball. Turns it over back to Lees-McRae. Number 16, Alan Smith, brings it down the middle of the field to the right side, and Carney. Carney loses it, picked up by Safransky. Safransky to Dupree. Dupree over the far side for Carpenter. Carpenter to Palmer, led him a little bit too far. This one slung high in the air by Wozniak. Lands right in the net of Carpenter. Here comes Warren, and Warren gets it in. 2:02 left to play in the fourth.
Let's go, Wayne!
The late goal from North Greenville will push the lead back to 10.
Both teams are showing a little bit of tiredness now. Getting late in the game, 2:02 left to play. Getting ready for this next face-off.
19-9.
2 minutes remaining.
With 2 minutes left to play at the faceoff, Bell takes it again, and he'll get the rebound shot after it bounced off Proley and a couple of Bobcats. Far side pass to Palmer. Palmer goes to Carpenter, goes to Warren, and now Carpenter. Carpenter goes back to Warren. Back to Palmer in the far side corner. Warren brings it to the near side, gets it to Weisnar. Now to LeMay. Weisnar. Up top. Weisnar up top with LeMay. Now Weisnar will try to make a break inside. Looks for Carpenter, can't get it to him. Now looking for Warren, can't get it to him either. Skips it over to the far side for LeMay. LeMay gives chase. Ball knocked away, kept in bounds by LeMay. Good job. Palmer now after it. He can't bring it in, and Quinn finally scoops it up for the Bobcats. He'll send it long down the field, finds Rodney Duty. He'll go across midfield and down the far side for Alec Molander. Molander to Stotler. Stotler around one man, slings it in, and good for the Bobcats. Final minute to play. The Bobcats still fighting. They get their 10th goal of the game. North Greenville still leading 19-10.
Both teams taking advantage of some of the players that don't get much playing time right now, and they're actually trying hard. I have to give them that. With the score like it is, they're still playing very hard.
We'll start back up for the final 45 seconds. And it's Stephen Towns winning the face-off. Lobs a pass up intended for Carpenter. Carpenter takes a shot from behind, loses it, but Towns able to help him out, get the ball back. Gets it to Somjack. Now Tuttle. 25 seconds left for Tuttle. Tuttle will go back to Somjack. Weisnar comes back in. Somjack will head down the left wing. 15 seconds left. Somjack fakes a move inside, now backs off. Under 10 seconds. Tries to get in the corner. Here comes Somjack. He'll try to lob it inside, and it's picked off by Stotler. 1 second left. And that will run out the clock as Stotler breaks away, but doesn't have enough time to get down the field. North Greenville will come away with the victory, 19-10 over the Lees-McRae Bobcats. They will improve to 4-7 overall. That's North Greenville. Lees-McRae will fall to 2-7 overall. Well done by North Greenville today. And it looks like at the final whistle, Lees-McRae in that second half actually managed to ring up the shot total, and they outshot North Greenville 37-34. The Bobcats picked up 20 ground balls, North Greenville's 28. And the stat that might tell the tale for today's game, North Greenville 22 of 31 on faceoffs. North Greenville, fortunately, a lot of turnovers, which led to an interesting third quarter by Lees-McRae. 21 turnovers to the Bobcats, 13. On goals today, Dane Carney heated up for Lees-McRae. He rang up 5. Alec Molander and Blaine Stotler each with 2. Tanner Jones with 1 for the Bobcats. The long list of scoring for North Greenville. Let's start from the top. Jalen Bell got his 1 goal of the game after he won the faceoff, took it down the field himself, and rang it up. Drew Weisnarl finished with 2. Drew Warren with 6. Chris Carpenter 4. Andrew Loach with 2. Somjack, Proley, Palmer, and Tuttle each with 1.
Definitely a share of the wealth game today for North Greenville. I think the Lees-McRae might have had a little bit better scoring if they'd been passing the ball a little bit more. Seemed like they started the game off with just one person taking most of the shots and didn't get his goal until later into the game. But they're working on it. They'll get it together here, and they'll be coming around pretty quick.
So with only 4 games left in the regular season, North Greenville ends a 4-game skid and a victory here against Lees-McRae. They'll go on the road to Shorter, Belmont Abbey, and then Pfeiffer before they come home for the final home game on April the 20th against Mars Hill. That's the final home game here in Tigerville, as well as the final game of the regular season. North Greenville picks up their 2nd conference win. So definitely an improvement on the 2nd season for NGU. So the women's team's taking to the field. Emmanuel over on the left, North Greenville on the right. And that game coming up next. But for the moment, North Greenville men's lacrosse takes the win over Lees-McRae. We'll be back in just a few moments to bring the women's game here on the North Greenville Sports Network.